You want to be successful when starting a business, then where do you start? This is a question that every entrepreneur is always looking for an answer. The fact that you are looking for an answer is a sign that you are responding to the right direction of the principles in business. And that answer is not at all strange. That is the path that you need to gather practical knowledge in business. Through that source of knowledge, you train yourself every day to possess the professional skills of an administrator. To get this source of knowledge, millions of entrepreneurs have tried many different ways of learning, such as searching for sources of business knowledge shared for free from friends, relatives, from every community and society. Or searching for sources of knowledge by participating in short-term courses. Or learn from books on business knowledge, learn from content shared by entrepreneurs on many media. But the final result that entrepreneurs reap from these learning methods is a miserable failure. The more they try to search, the more they try to learn, the deeper they go into failure. Why do these methods always bring failure to entrepreneurs? First, free knowledge sources often come from communities that are blind to business knowledge like you. Or some communities have a little business knowledge, but they only give you a bomb for you to destroy yourself. Because, you need to always remember that knowledge is the only weapon that helps you from a small person to a strong person in the economy. Therefore, no one can give you completely free to become a rich person, while they have nothing from you. And no one will ever spend their free time and exhaust their own brain to help you become rich, while they always need money for daily living expenses. Second, the source of knowledge from short-term courses or from books on business knowledge is only a source of knowledge of a general nature and exists at an unrealistic value that you cannot apply directly to the practical business career you are aiming for. And one thing that is quite common from this learning tool is the appearance of trainers, lecturers, inspirations and books containing copycat content. Copycat knowledge is a source of knowledge created from copying, trimming content, stealing knowledge sources from economic consultants, or impersonating famous people to deceive you and empty your pockets through charging fees, but in fact it has no practical value. Third, the sources of knowledge that many entrepreneurs are sharing on media platforms, it is just a conspiracy to bring benefits to them, it is not a valuable source of knowledge for you. This action of businessmen is just a trick to build their personal brand in front of the social community. When they gain the trust of the community, they will start to exploit the community economically, from legal to illegal. This is the reality that many communities have been robbed of property by a series of businessmen, which many newspapers have reported and warned about. Therefore, the knowledge sources that entrepreneurs share only bring benefits to themselves, but have no value for you to apply to your startup journey. The simple thing for you to clearly see the abnormality from the content shared by entrepreneurs is that you just need to gather the business achievements that these entrepreneurs have achieved, then you will clearly see one thing, that their business does not deserve to be called a successful business, because at least they must be in the group of the largest businesses in the world in terms of revenue and growth rate. Even some entrepreneurs are debtors of many banks that they cannot afford to pay, so the fact that they claim to be a successful entrepreneur is a very ridiculous thing. From there, you need to understand that the content they share is a lie, and you need to stay away from these entrepreneurs before you are turned into a tool to be exploited by them. There are many businessmen who have taken advantage of this situation to release books or short courses to pick the pockets of the community. And the special thing that you need to note is that, when a business is growing well, they will never be stupid enough to bring a good sword to give you for free. That sword is the special source of knowledge, and the sharp formulas in business that have contributed to helping them achieve success. And they will certainly always hide it as a treasure that they will always keep for themselves. Because, there is never any business that wants that, in the future you will become a competitor and tear apart the business achievements that they have worked so hard to build. These are all things that are happening in reality, that you need to always be careful. In order for you to have a startup roadmap that achieves practical value and can help you achieve solid achievements, you must get used to the slow steps formula. You must build a startup roadmap, step by step, in a solid way. From the stage of surveying the suitability between the business field you are aiming for, compared to your instincts and real abilities. Then you must go through a long-term process to build all the necessary skills in business, such as building plans, building strategies, sales skills, proficient use of marketing tools, etc. Whether you start a business online or in the real market, it is a lifelong passion. During the startup journey, you may face many failures, but you must not let your passion be crushed, without the strength to stand up and start over. What you need in a startup is a sustainable mindset, and to have a sustainable mindset, you cannot ignore every basic step from the beginning to the end of the business. Therefore, knowledge is the first step that you need to have, and you need to maintain its growth over time. Never let groups of knowledge criminals manipulate your thoughts. Knowledge criminals often influence you with dreams of getting rich quickly or 3 or 10 times the revenue from the courses they create. The arguments from the group of knowledge criminals will make you burn money meaninglessly and enrich them. More specifically, your ideological system will be disturbed by them and you will forever be immersed in the illusion of wealth, until you feel failure, then you have no chance to stand up. In business, always remember one thing that you cannot change. For example, if you invest $100, you can only achieve a maximum profit of 3% per month, i.e. about $3. To achieve this profit index, you must be a person who is really good at all aspects of business, or you can earn a profit rate of 1% per month, which is also considered successful. If you want a bigger business, you need to spend a lot of time accumulating capital, building prestige with input suppliers and financial institutions, then you can have a bigger opportunity. All of those achievements depend on the quality of business knowledge that you have, or you have trained yourself. And of course, you cannot lack the presence of a leader and give you sources of knowledge that have practical value. Because, the image of a leader is a tool to help you shorten the time in learning and practicing all skills in business. So, what is practical knowledge? Practical knowledge is the source of knowledge that has the ability to directly help you build a career that you are aiming for. This source of knowledge must be corresponding and exactly suitable for the product you are choosing to start a business. This means that, if you want to do business in bread products, your leader must have enough understanding and deep experience in the bread product market. And they are the ones who are capable of researching, training, explaining, building high-quality solutions for you, guiding you on all the necessary skills in business. On the contrary, if the leader you choose always has irrelevant or general content, you should fire them before you are robbed. When it comes to the best leader in economics that you should trust, it is a team of highly qualified consultants. You can find reputable leaders at reputable consulting firms that exist in the market today, such as PwC, ARC, Vanto or OIA, etc. And one of these consulting organizations, you can try to cooperate with OIA. Because, OIA is the only unit in the world that maintains an online consulting service, where you only need to pay a service fee of $1 for each consulting hour. With this service at OIA, every startup community can easily use it anytime you want. The service cost that you have to pay is thousands of times cheaper than the full consulting service, but the quality of the knowledge source remains unchanged. And you are not bound by the strict cooperation criteria set by consulting organizations, which sometimes you have money but cannot use the service. If you want to start a successful business or you are facing deadlocks in starting a business, then come to OIA to experience the quality of service. You will receive values worthy of what you are expecting. It is a pleasure to connect with you and wish you a successful startup.